Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Anna Morfidis with Mendy Horse Counseling, and today's video is going to be all about how to create the outcome that we are wishing to have, and for whatever reason we haven't been able to receive yet in our life, whether that outcome is specific relationship with your child, with a romantic partner, in your career, whatever it is how to get to that desired outcome. So I talk a lot about the art of letting go and not being attached, because attachment, like Buddha says, is the cause of all suffering. So we don't necessarily want to attach to outcomes, but the experience of an outcome that we want to feel is something that we can control and work with to see if we can get. So when we repeat a same cycle over and over, so this video was actually born from a conversation that I had earlier today about getting the same outcome in a specific situation, and they were asking me for help. How can they change that outcome? Not necessarily attaching to it, but how to change an outcome in a specific situation, because they have been receiving the same over and over and over again. And that is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So what is it that they need to do in order to receive a different outcome in a particular situation? So thank you to people such as Dr. Joe Dispenza, Louise Hay, Dr. Deepak Chopra. We now know that our thoughts will produce our emotions, which then lead into feelings, and then from those feelings and our emotions, our behaviors will be driven. And those behaviors will have a particular outcome, because input equals output. So what you're putting in is what you're going to be getting out. So if you can understand what your thoughts are behind that emotion and or feeling that drives your behavior, that is giving the same outcome over and over, you can change everything. That's why that saying, change your thoughts, change your life, is so true and so powerful. Because if you're able to understand your thoughts, because remember, 95% of our thoughts are subconscious, and they just run by our autonomic nervous system on their own. They just fire signals and neurotransmitters, and depending on those thoughts, the neurotransmitters will be those of producing good feeling, such as dopamine or oxytocin, or there'll be those that produce anxiety, such as cortisol. So what are the thoughts that are driving that behavior that are leading to the same outcome over and over, and the emotion that is behind the behavior? And change your thoughts, change your emotion, change your behavior, and that should bring a different outcome. I'm going to link below a really great video by Joe Dispenza that I stumbled upon today because I was doing some research, because I do know that he just words these things so much more eloquently, a lot more than I can, about the physics behind how our thoughts can literally, he's the one that says all the time, change your thoughts, change your reality, because thoughts have so much power. So I'm going to link that video below by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I also know that if we're waiting for the world to show up different in order for us to have a different outcome in our life, then we're not going to be succeeding, because we literally create our outside reality, or we can change what is being presented to us in our outside reality by our own behaviors and our own attitudes and our own feelings and emotions. Then everything else can change. Because imagine if it was actually the other way around. Like if we really had to depend on the outside world to do different in order for us to experience different, then there would be no power in anything, and we would constantly be codepending on outside sources to fulfill or bring us that which it is that we want to experience. But in actuality, nothing is outside of us. We are the co-creators of our reality, and we always have power at any given moment in time. But I don't want to discount the experience of how challenging life is, because I feel that the challenges never end. But I feel like I'm going to do a separate episode on that, because challenges are really opportunities for growth or redirection, right? Because if we don't like something and it feels challenging, then there's a huge opportunity there for growth and redirection. But in order to change our thoughts, to change an outcome of something that we are receiving right now that we don't like, and it's the same thing over and over, this book is going to help us a lot, by Louise Hay. It's called Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. I talk a lot about Louise Hay because she's the queen of affirmations, and I incorporated her book. What was it called for the 21-day workshop? Oh, it's not coming to me right now, but it's the little blue book, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. No, this is this one. Oh, mirror work. Yes, mirror work, where you literally reprogram the way that you think and feel about yourself. So this is essentially the same thing, because who you are and what you believe about yourself is literally creating your thoughts, which are creating your emotions, which are producing your feelings and driving your behaviors. So emotions, we were taught that they are fleeting. They're about 90 seconds long, but it's the feelings that are produced from the emotions that can last a lifetime. So if our emotions from our thoughts are sadness, like for example, if you're not realizing that you're thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can anyone love me? Or you're thinking things like, I can't do this on my own. I need others to help me. Your feeling might be that of disappointment, and then your behaviors are going to reflect that of someone who is disappointed. So maybe it's going to be frustration or withdrawal, or say if someone's thoughts are, why can anyone love you? What's wrong with me? Then your emotion, predominant emotion is going to be sadness. Then the feeling that will produce from that can last a lifetime is, what's the feeling that I used to have before from my unworthiness? The feeling is, my predominant emotion was sadness, and the way I felt was unsettled. I felt rejection. And then, of course, those would drive my behavior, and the outcomes that I would have in my situations would reflect all that quote unquote negativity that I carried, until I understood that I needed to heal myself and love myself in order to change my life. But I needed to understand who I believe that I was. And I did this workbook. So we're gonna go into that today. And I would encourage you to grab pen and paper and write what you think and feel, and what do you believe about men. And then you can pause this and then write out your answers. Then I would love for you to write out what you believe about women. And then the same, we're going to write out what we believe about love, about sex, about work, about money, about success, about failure. And Louise Hay says, think of all the things that these words mean to you and make the list as long as you like. And then after you take the time to write this out, take a good look at them and notice the areas that are difficult for you. Do you have conflicting beliefs? How many of your answers are negative? Put a star beside these negative answers. Do you really want to continue to build your life on these convictions? Be aware that someone taught you these ideas. Now that you have seen them, you can choose to let them go. So there's another exercise, and she takes us further into writing out our story, because our childhood is everything. Like, it shapes our attachment style, it shapes our core beliefs, which is our self-concept. Core beliefs, attachment, like everything. It shapes who we are as adults. So write out your story. And she says this might be time for you to write a brief story of your life. Begin with your childhood. Use more paper if you need to. And as you're writing out your childhood, actually, maybe it would be serving you best to stop the video right here, write out your childhood story, and then come back and answer the question. So I would urge you to pause and then come back. And then you would answer this about the story. What other negative beliefs could you have rattling around in your subconscious mind? Allow them to come up. You may be surprised at what you find. How many negative messages did you notice when you wrote your story? Each negative belief that surfaces is a treasure. Aha, I have found you, she says. You are the one that has been causing me all this trouble. Now I can eliminate you. So the way to eliminate negative core beliefs is to create positive core beliefs through the power of affirmation and or journaling. You literally have to create a new neurological synapse within yourself that fires a different signal. So the complete opposite of the beliefs. And then she says that this would be a good time to pick up your little hand mirror and look at yourself in your eyes and affirm your willingness to release all these beliefs about yourselves, right? Because our beliefs are the ones that create our thoughts. And we're going to release all these old negative messages and beliefs, and we're going to breathe deeply as we do this and speak aloud, if you can. I am willing to release all old negative concepts and beliefs that are no longer nourishing me. And repeat that several times. I am willing to release all old negative concepts and beliefs that are no longer nourishing me. And I know that there's a few remaining within myself that I need to release about myself. And then we can further continue this work and go a little bit further into our inner child. And she says, many of us have an inner child who is lost and lonely and feels so rejected. Perhaps the only contact we have had with our inner child for a long time is to scold it and to criticize it. Then we wonder why we are unhappy. We cannot reject a part of us and still be in harmony within. Part of healing is to gather all the parts of ourselves so we may be whole and complete. Let's do some work to connect with those neglected inner parts of ourselves. So I think I'm going to stop the video here, and I'm going to urge you to find a photo of yourself when you were a child And then we're going to delve into the inner child work in the next episode. And this is to be done in order for us to change our self-concept, change our belief about who we are, really understand where those beliefs came from, and really truly understand our thoughts, so we can have different emotions and or feelings, therefore different behaviors, therefore different outcomes. So remember to send your inner child so much love and gratitude. Find that picture of your little self and come back with it tomorrow. And we're going to do an episode where we continue on with Louise Hay's exercise to really find out, who do we truly think that we are? And if it's not serving you anymore, let it go and morph it, redirect it. That's our superpower as humans, is that we can transmute anything at any given point in time that is not serving, because it's always meant to be serving. Like, the point of life is for us to always be served. Even if our circumstances are born out of negativity, there is a serving out of those too. With all my love and gratitude, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode with me. If you like anything about this video, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe to receive more of my videos and not miss the next one, please hit the subscribe button and then the notification button so you know when it comes out. And I will see you next time.